But I think there's 2 or 3 here tonight. Who wants to go first? I'm pretty sure Addison's busting pretty hard to say. What about you, Mr. Head? You're first on the list. Come on down. I'm really proud of all these youth for everything they've done. I know that it's nervous. I didn't even have to talk this morning. All you have to do is tell me I got to say something. I'm nervous for days, so you'll do a good job. I know you will.
Hope so.
Appreciate you.
My name's Conrad, if you don't know me. Went to this church my entire life. I grew up here. I got saved about 3 years ago. I want to say it was, I don't know the year on the dot. It's my sophomore year. But what had happened was I thought my entire life I was saved. I think it was when I was 7 years old. I got saved in a Home Depot parking lot. That's at least what I thought. I was wrong. It wasn't the fact that I was living wrong. It was the fact that I wasn't doing anything. I got complacent, and I realized that. And as I was sitting in a youth group back in there, Jason was going around. A bunch of people felt it moving, and I got saved that night. Now, I didn't think it was that special, but Jordan told me that they're all special. And, sorry. He's been so good to me in my life. And I don't think that one moment right there defines my whole testimony. Everything from my parents to my brother to everything that's been put in my life, and I'm so thankful for it. But they told me when I got saved that it wasn't going to be any easier. It was probably going to get harder. And it did. It didn't hit me the way I thought it would. And honestly, after about the first month of into my salvation, I was right back where I started. I wasn't reading my Bible. I wasn't doing anything. And about 2 months later, one of my good friends passed away in a car accident. And that right there set me pretty straight. I don't know why I'm crying. It's hard. But John, he was a great kid. Anybody who knew him, they can all say he was a great kid, a great, good Christian man. And, him passing away, it was a shock. It was out of nowhere. And it really made me realize right then and there, I was saved, but I realized, man, if I got to really straighten this up. I got to make sure I'm really going for God. And, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes every day. All the time. You can ask my parents, they'll tell you. But, man, he has been so good to me in my life, and I'm very thankful. It is just crazy. I've played years of sports. I played soccer since I was 3 years old, and not once did I ever have a career-ending injury. Never once was I so bad hurt that I couldn't play again. Not once was I ever just hating the sport so much I just had to quit it. God always gave me someone in that sport to push me through it, whether it be my parents or a teammate, and he always provided a way for me, and I'm just so thankful for it. And he's done a lot in my life, and I'm telling you, it's a lot easier with him than without him, because trying it without him will not work. I promise you that. But that's all I had to say.
I'm going to not sit on the front. I ain't going to be able to open my eyes tomorrow. I'm just squalling the whole time. Man, I love his youth. You think nothing really goes on back there, that it's just fun and stuff like that. There's a lot happens. And to see transformations, we completely forget that it almost will get complacent saying it because it's said so much, but these are seriously the church of tomorrow. In 50 years, most of us won't be here, and a lot of them will be. And how are they going to know if we don't show them? If we can't show them by example, I don't want to get off on all that other stuff, but honestly, just to say it, if Wednesday night and Sunday night is not important to me, it's not going to be important to them. But to see growth, one of the hardest questions that I have been asked multiple times is, hey, Jason, how do I know that I'm saved? And that's real. You don't want to say the wrong thing. But it's funny, he said, nothing really changed. Because everybody expects fireworks and, there'll be banners when you come through town and all that. But there was a change, because the next time he was in a crisis, or the next time whatever, the first thing he started reaching for was God. When you have that yearning for God, that's not in a lost person, really. So let's hear what Addison's got to say. Come on up, man.
Hi, my name is Addison. For most of y'all know, I've been coming to Bethel for quite a while, most of my life actually. Most of y'all know my story, but for those who don't, I thought I was saved when I was in 5th grade-ish. I thought I got saved at a Bible school here. That wasn't the case. I got into middle school and I got in the wrong crowd. I really wasn't making the best decisions, wasn't saying the right things, acting how I should be. But fast forward a few years later, I was in youth class with Jason and a bunch of kids, and I got saved. I finally realized I wasn't, and we had a really good lesson, and I felt conviction. I felt the Lord tugging on my heart, and I got saved that night. But similar to what Connor was talking about, just because you're saved doesn't mean life's going to get easier. For most of y'all, I've lost people in my life after that, and most of y'all know, but in September last year, I tore my ACL and meniscus, and at least for me, I thought that was going to be the end of the world, because sports mean a lot for me. They have always meant a lot for me. I've done them since I was very young. But when I found out, not gonna lie, I was mad. I don't know who I was mad at. I'm not gonna say I was mad at God, but I was mad at the world, I guess. And I was very upset about it. And even through this whole journey, it was, a step forward, 2 steps back. I'd have a good day at PT, and then next time I wouldn't get good news. I had to have another surgery, and I honestly didn't think I would get to the point I'm at. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't deserve everything that God's given me. I don't deserve His love. I don't even deserve, my athletic ability. I don't deserve the ability to be here, standing. But by His grace, 2 weeks ago maybe, it might have been last week, I really can't remember, I found I got cleared. And I'm very happy to be back on the field and the court, and that's all because of God. Without Him, I wouldn't be here and in the spot I am. And He's opened doors, He's closed doors for me. He allowed me to meet new people, make new friends, and I did good in school. I really needed that, and I also, during this whole journey with my ACL, it allowed me to get closer to God, because I wasn't reading my Bible, I wasn't praying. But after that, I realized I needed to really straighten up and get closer to Him. And so I'm very grateful for that. That's all.
Good job, Addison. Sorry. Jordan, you ready? They've got it warmed up for you, hon. Come on in.
Hello, I'm Jordan, and I'm also like Addison and Conrad. I thought I was saved when I was 5 years old. At my grandparents' house, I was laying in bed with my mom, and she told me how to get saved, and I didn't, but what was wrong with me is I didn't feel the conviction. She just told me how to do it. I said a quick prayer, and I was like, that's it, I'm saved. So I went on with my life, a lot of my life like that, and eventually I realized I wasn't, and I would struggle each and every night, thinking I was going to go to hell if I died. And I would even tell my parents, I'd be like, "Good night, I'll see you in the morning," because I felt like I needed to say that in order to wake up the next morning. And I would, yeah, and my problem is I thought I didn't believe in God. Like, I was like, how do I know he's real? And my mom and dad knew I had a struggle with this, and we had a book when I was homeschooled. It was called Believe. And it was one of the quotes in there, I remember it was like, how do you believe in the wind? You don't see it, but you feel it. And that really stuck with me for a long time. And I realized later down the road, I was like, I do believe in him. I was like, there's no way I don't. I was like, when I hear Bible stories, I see the characters in my mind. Like, I picture them, and I know they're there. And when I go to bed, I know there's a heaven, I know there's a hell, because how else would I not know that I'm not saved if I don't know that there's not a hell and that I wasn't scared? So it hit me one night that I wasn't saved and I realized I did believe, but it was a long time before I ever accepted that I wasn't. And then one night at Bible school, like I was 15, it was 2023, on Wednesday night, I got saved right there. And then they're not kidding when they say it's not easy. The next day, the devil hit me and was like, that was too easy. Like, that was too easy. You know, like, you're not saved. That was too easy. And I was like, and I dealt with that for like 2 days. But I had to realize that that's the whole point. It's supposed to be easy. Like, God didn't make it hard. And I had to accept that. And I did get saved. But the devil was trying to tell me it was too easy. But that's the whole point, is it's supposed to be too easy. And it's easier than you think. And I would struggle with that for a really, really long time. I just had to accept that. But yeah, that's the day I got saved. That's my story.
Boy, this is good. We need this. We need to hear this stuff. So I was back there thinking, when one of them says something, it reminds me of something else that somebody's pulled me. Hey, these kids, it's not like in here, it's a lot scarier in here, but them kids, they'll pull you by the shirt when you're starting to leave. I want to talk to you about something. And this is the stuff the questions you get asked is the same things that gets brought up in testimonies. The next day, the devil was all over me. And I know that they get tired of hearing it, but I constantly drive this stuff, because we don't need to tell these kids that all you got to do is come on up here, we'll pat you on the rear end, and your life's going to be amazing, because that's a lie. It's not. And then when they get hit with everything, they're going to start immediately thinking, well, I didn't get anything. It's not like a tattoo's going to come up on your arm that says saved as soon as it happens. If you're not in the devil's grasp, he's not fighting you. I mean, if he's got you in his grasp, but as soon as you turn over into the Lord's hand, he starts squirming. And that in itself is evidence of what goes. So I think it's neat that you hear that in every one of these testimonies. You'll get saved, and the first thing that happens, steal, kill, and destroy. He wants to come up and convince you that, hey, what she said, nail on the head, that was too easy. You couldn't, there had to have been something else happen. That's why you always hear, I've got that day. Like I said about the tattoo, that ain't something that jumps up on you. That's something you remember when it happened, and then you can take him right back there, because he's going to come at you with that stuff. I wonder, is there anybody else that had a testimony they wanted to give? And I'm talking to the youth, but we'll sure accept any other testimonies too. Now, you just don't have to all get up at once. That's all right. It's hard to get people to participate, these youngins. I've tried bribing them. I really, really appreciate these kids. I'm calling you kids. I know you don't like that, but you're younger than I am. I have struggled the past 4 years with moving on from the youth. and I'll turn loose completely. But he just won't turn me loose from it right yet. Until he does, I guess I'll keep going where I'm going. All right, does anybody else, I'm going to turn it over to Doug to close or whatever he wants to do. Does anybody, you sure anybody else don't have a testimony?
Jason,
Don't miss your...
I feel like our children are very blessed to have you as guidance and just for the knowledge you have and caring that if, and directing them and letting them know that if they have problems through life, they do have someone higher to look at and that will help them through their problems.
Definitely.
There's so much out there for children now that we, as a geriatric or old, problems we never had. And now it's like every corner, a child now has issues and troubles. I mean, every way they turn. And they've got so many peers around them and children, the friends, that doesn't know the Lord. And it's like, you know, every corner they turn, it's an obstacle for them. And at least they do know. And I'm so proud to see that our children will stand up and acknowledge
Yeah.
God is, what it's going to be, and what it will take to get them through these issues.
Oh, yeah.
We thank you very, very much.
Well, the difference is, and this is my opinion, is, you know, when I was younger, and I know they've heard me say this, even if you was in the roughest, and I was at some points, I was in some of the roughest crowds ever, all the way to being in jail. You bring up the Lord and talk about it, and everybody, you know, there was a little bit of fear there. Now, that's the difference. There's no new temptation under the sun. But the difference is that used to, when you'd be into something, even the biggest thug in the room would say, well, boy, I'd be worried about doing that, because the fear of the Lord was there. Now it's like, there ain't no God. Y'all are weird. What? I never heard anybody in my life. My oldest brother had a couple of friends that didn't believe in God, and I was just blown away by that. Of course, I had doubts in my mind, but now it's not as uncommon for half your class not to believe, and that's hard to be around. And that's why I know that we've not always agreed on that, but that's why I think it's so important to get these youth with other youth and things like that so they can have peers, they can have people that they can run with that's going to say, hey, man, we're not going to that party. That's important in their life. Turn it over to you, brother. You can come up.
I just want to start off by saying that I'm just a normal guy. I'm just never been nothing excelled at anything. But I look around this room and I see faces that I grew up with. Robbie, when I come by and shook your hand a minute ago, I went back to freshman year when we were playing football. Me and you, they put us in the back because we didn't go through our summer stuff together. I've been through so many things with so many people in life. But now I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a leader of my house. And how can I expect my children to get up here and give their testimony when I won't? God's brought me through so many things in life. Very minuscule things that I went through. But very scary things that I went through with my wife, my youngest daughter. But God taught me through all those things to reach out to Him, to call unto Him. I went through a rocky place in my youth. I was very rebellious. I thought I could handle anything. I didn't need nobody for nothing. On a daily basis, when I was a boy, all I could think about was getting away from my parents, being my own person. I wanted to do me. I wanted to be my own. I didn't want to watch my siblings anymore. I didn't want to be made to do this by my parents anymore. And I've made a lot of mistakes in life. I tried to hurt people. I tried to retaliate at people and hurt them on this earth. And it's not my job to hurt someone because I was hurt by them. It's my job to love and to show love and lead by example. And I led a lousy example for a lot of my life. When I was a young boy, I was in and out of church. My parents, they were on fire for a moment, and then they were cold for a moment. So I seen a lot of good, and I seen a lot of bad. But I always knew there was a God. I always knew there was a higher power than me. I think back to a lot of things in my childhood. Doug's been in my life since I was about, 11 or 12, maybe even 9 years old. Doug's been my pastor. He married me and my wife. He married my brother. I've seen so many things in Doug's life come and go. I can remember when Sandy took us as young people in Mineral Bluff Church and tried to teach us how to sing. And I wanted to be the clown. But Jeremy paid attention because it was his mama. And Jeremy can get up here and sing like a bird. But I didn't pay attention when Sandy was trying to teach me. Little things you'll go through life regretting your entire life. But I don't ever regret salvation. One of those times when my parents were hot for the Lord. This was something that went on a lot when I was young. It's not anymore. But there were revivals. There were tent revivals. There were crusades. There were lots of things that were going on for Christ. I think I grew up in a tail end of a Billy Graham movement where